Losing my cool.
It's all about the happy days. It's just one of those happy days. It's just one of those happy days. The weekend comes, let's up the runs. Ready to make you. These days feel like shit. My suggestion is to keep your distance. 'Cause right now I'm dangerous. Right now I'm dangerous.
Something's happening to the bonds.
And my day keeps going this way and this way.
I'm gonna pop you one so you'll stop playing games.
Give me something great. Give me something great. I hope you know I'm like a chainsaw. A chainsaw. A motherfucking chainsaw.
What?
Buddy!
Oh, it might be the
Guys.
show of the fucking century.
Let's go! Chat's
today.
working! Chat's working!
We finally have chat back. It really felt like we were underwater, drowning
It's like
without the chat. Like it's like pro wrestling without a crowd or something like
during
this. Where
COVID.
yeah, and it just sucks ass. With a live stream, you need to have a chat. Like, or if you don't, it's
It's
like
Are they liking this? I don't know.
it's just like, okay, I'm talking into a void here. I don't know. You know what I mean? So it really
It was
is.
a
We're
hard
glad
show.
to have you guys back tonight. It's a Wednesday night delight. Ralph is back. Ralph's crying.
Guys,
Ralph's crying like a bitch. Let's go.
So, I pulled the-
He's
I-
sobbing.
Ash, I did the worst
Woo,
thing.
he's sad.
I did the like
Yes!
I'm gonna leave my homework for the last minute. So I watched
Yeah, I know.
7 hours of Ralph.
I tried to get you to work yesterday.
I was playing games all night.
You're like, no, I'm gonna play. So
I'll
then
do
he
it in the
had to do
morning, Ash.
7
Don't worry.
straight hours of Ralph.
I'm like,
You know,
I should have split it between last night and this morning. Guys, it is crazy.
so he's like actual tears. He was, man.
Oh, buddy,
like today.
bowling.
Oh,
Do we even have that? Because I was
man.
editing the last 7 hours of show, aka the
There's
last 2 days.
so much Ralph, man. Like he's just so low down and buck broken at this point.
You know
like,
what, though?
I
It's
don't
beautiful.
Yeah, well, it's what he deserves. It is. Like his life is just a nightmare, a waking nightmare he can never wake up from. He's just in hell. And he's just been blackout drunk now for a week straight.
Like,
Just on the
openly.
craziest bender, like the most stereotypical alcoholic ever. Like out of a cartoon with like the hiccups and shit.
But
Like
he's
you've
had the
seen
hiccups
like
for
a woodpecker, like Looney Tunes. Whoop, whoop.
for
Like,
4
it's like-
days straight. He's like permanent hiccup. Like those.
Yep. Yep.
The
Like, it's
AI
a fuck-
songs have gotten
It's
him
an
there.
actual cartoon.
Pantsu, I miss you. And he's like, I do miss her. Like,
I miss Pantsu, bitch. And there's like the AI song of Pantsu leaving, and he's just crying his fucking eyes out like a baby. I remember when he instituted, there's no crying in the sector, bitch.
yeah.
It seems like the only thing that there is in the sector nowadays is crying like a bishop. You know, almost like, yeah, it's seething. You know, it's it. I'm gonna fall, oi, oi.
Oi, oi.
Or Ralph being like, I'm gonna kill you, Pantsu, bitch.
This is really
Like, that's what he actually says. Like, because Ralph was like crying about Pantsu, how she left him,
Yeah.
how it was so much better with Pantsu, like reminiscing about all this stuff.
was
somebody-
better.
Yes, let's be real. She was a bad bitch. Her stomach, she was fit. She was fit as you know, and then this comes in for $3, the real Pantsu. Like, let's be real, Ethan, I'm never coming back. you should kill yourself. It's fucking over.
Oh,
And he goes, that's not the real Pantsu. Because the real Pantsu would be scared I would kill her.
but the amount
Whoa.
of death threats.
And it's like, you wonder why you got into this position in the first place, Ralph.
It's actually
You wonder
fucking-
why, buddy? Like, but this, so the ultimate like irony came today. The
Oh
show
my God.
Freud.
How did we not start with
It
this?
was so Kino. So Ralph has been threatening Scarlett all week long that he was going to release this sex tape of her.
And he raised
Now,
money
from
twice.
the
Remember that.
beginning, like we've been confused where it's like, why would she care that this sex tape was released?
Yeah.
Because there's already 1,000 sex tapes of her available for free on the internet of her drinking pee, eating poo, getting blacked, stretched in all holes, like the greasiest, grimiest, low down. Now she hasn't been gunted, you know, and it's like, is it really that much different?
Like, is it like that much worse than drinking piss?
Good God, it must have been bad to be like that. So I'm worried about. Well, today Scar was just like, I call your bluff all in, and was like, I'm gonna drop this fucking
He's
sex
uploaded
tape.
apparently. It's uploaded somewhere.
But it's like, I thought today, listen, it hasn't appeared yet. Who knows if it'll ever appear, but I was getting excited. Like, I wish it could be Christmas every day.
Have you messaged Crow?
Ooh, it's Ralph's sex tape. I have. I'm like, Crow.
Crow, you ready, bud?
Crow, are you on standby, buddy? Any day now, any minute now. We're going to have to call Crow. We're going to have to call Godwinson. We're going to have to call the whole crew in.
I've
to
made
examine
a
it
robot
frame
streamer.
by frame
I've made
by
a robot
frame.
streamer account.
Every
I've gotten
single
ready.
sordid, disgusting moment of the gun jiggling, his going soft, Scar gagging from the stench of his gun crease grease, the whole nine. We're going to see puke in 4K. Oh, it's going to be. But you know what? I still don't think the tape even exists. Do you know Scarlett was saying, now you can't trust anything this dumb
At
bitch
all.
says.
Yeah.
She's insane. But she was saying that Ralph actually didn't even go through with the tape because he couldn't get hard and he was soft the whole time.
I believe that,
And
though.
she's like, it doesn't
They
even
were on
exist.
drugs the whole time, bro. They were on
He
drugs.
buddy, even if he wasn't on drugs, he can't get it up anymore.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's broken now.
And
Yeah,
even
of
if he
course.
did, it's microscopic. Then Ralph today was like, did you see this? Where he's like, yeah, well, when you were asleep, I f***ed your ass.
I have it all in the
Yeah.
edit, though. I watched all
Yeah.
7 hours today.
I f***ed you, Scarlett. Yeah. And Scarlett's response is just, well, I didn't feel it. She didn't even feel it when she woke up. Because his is so tiny.
Okay, by the
that
way,
even a
you know what he
brutal
said?
anal, she didn't even feel a thing.
So I texted you this, but there's the craziest
Oh.
section, I think on part 3 or 4, where he goes, you know what? Sometimes a is too tight. You know how much work it is to stay hard, to tight? I'm like, what? Why would you say that? Like, that's
What are
crazy.
you on? Like, I honestly am so excited for the Ralph segment today.
It's
Like,
massive,
I
guys.
can't even
It's 5
wait.
hours tonight.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
But this whole thing, Ralph been like, I'm gonna release it, bitch. You consented. I have a right to put this out there. And then the moment she's like, okay, I'll put it out. He's like, no, you can't do this. No,
Revenge
you can't do this to me.
pornography.
This is revenge. Wait a minute, Ralph. I thought there was no such thing as revenge.
You-
Damn.
he said.
I thought it was great to do revenge. But now, all of the sudden, when it's your microscopic Memphis Micro soft and sad put on display, suddenly there's an issue. There's a legal or moral qualm with revenge. Ralph, really?
But you know what he was saying,
Well, I
though?
say
Ash.
what's good for the goose is good for the gander, bitch.
Okay, if he brought her to court, there is literally
can't.
30 minutes of material of him going, I'm going to sell this tape privately. Like, literally. And threatening to kill her with a B
here's
in
the
H.
biggest barrier for Ralph to take this to court.
You need to be in America.
Yeah, he would actually have to attend court in some way.
She
Like,
could reverse with
and this
like
is the thing is there's all
threats.
but there's
and,
there's
rape.
all sorts of charges out for him in America, like for domestic battery against Scarlett. He just caught this charge that we didn't even know about. There's the other court appearances that he no-showed for. He's still on the run from that like insurance claim against him when he T-boned Buddy, remember? And he got all up and he was covered in bruises.
I heard that.
And that guy tried to sue Ralph. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ralph like defaulted in court and owes millions of dollars to that guy. Ralph hasn't filed taxes in America in almost 10 years.
9, exactly.
Yeah, according to Harry Morris and Pantsu.
Harry.
So like once it hits 10 years, I think you're just totally I think at that point they then just completely ass you and put you in prison.
They remove your passport too, I think.
I'm pretty like he's getting to the end of the road, right? Listen, he used to live in like a modest crack shack in Mexico, Casa Verde.
Yeah,
where
it
like
wasn't
it had
that bad.
It wasn't that bad. Like when he first went there, like in all fairness, in all seriousness to Ralph, he was in like a gated community in Mexico. Now it's still in Mexico and it still sucks ass and you can't drink the tap water or shower or anything. And, you know, there were packs of rabid dogs, I guess, roaming the street in that neighborhood and all sorts of, right? But it was something, like it was a house. Now, like you look at the dilapidated, which by the way, he confirmed the docs.
Yeah, I know.
By copy or like by taking down Buddy's tweet about it. What was it? AF Streamwatch tweeted out.
Yeah.
The crack shack. And it's a literal concrete shack with like a tin roof on it. It's pathetic.
He was also threatening Hotep today, by the way.
Well, yeah, he's like, I'm gonna copyright take down your. It's like Ralph.
He's like, you have
brother,
to link my but you're on the screen, Ralph. Like you're dude.
This is the thing with Ralph, though, that he doesn't understand. Ever since he took down what was his Suvarok stream snipe of him, he's been in a terminal decline. Yeah. Because every time he takes down like the A-log clipping or stream snipe of him, it only hurts him. He's like depriving himself of oxygen and causing himself to drown and just collapse even faster. It's like, what are you doing? This is the only way that anybody even knows that you still exist is through these clip channels on Twitter. And barely anybody like and us and seriously and then but then he'll like threaten us or when we were on YouTube he'll flag our down and just act insane and then he wonders why he has nothing and he's in the position that he is in life and he's had so many opportunities, so many chances to turn it around and it's just like nobody feels bad for you, bro. In fact, most people don't think about you at all. It used to be that there was a dedicated group of people that if Ralph was up as badly as he is right now, would push his in and destroy him, but nobody even cares to do so anymore because the hell that Ralph is in of his own creation is worse than anything any A-log can do to him. It's similar to like the Jamas, like with iDubbbz. Obviously, it's, you know, they're nowhere near as felted as Ralph is.
Wow.
Nobody,
I wouldn't say
well, nobody is, right? But it's like, listen, just letting these rot is the worst possible punishment for them. And pretty soon, and it's already happened to Ralph for like years now, where he's just been rotting, completely irrelevant, no real attention, losing everything, right? Once Scarlett's fully out of the picture, and he keeps trying to be like, today was the arc is over, bitch.
Yeah, he wanted to
well,
end
no, you
the
don't
arc.
get this.
No.
But it's like, no, the arc's not over, Ralph. But
say when the
you
arc's
need to
over.
get on your knees and pray that this arc isn't over, bro, because
That's it.
what the is going to happen after this?
Yeah.
Now, somehow he finds a way to create a new insane arc, find some new dirty, some new low of depravity and debauchery. But every time now, it takes him longer to establish that new arc. And so it could be 27 before we see anything new or interesting from Ralph. And he's alienating like what few pay pigs are left.
And he's banished from America for sure this time, or else he'd be like arrested in court. So it's like, what's going to happen in Mexico besides a Senorita 4? Are we on Senorita
5?
Pansuela 4?
Pansuela 9?
Like, I don't even know.
Like, we can't do another Pansuela.
No.
Like, I just don't give a shit about the next.
She's not a... Yeah.
Right.
We're not
I
doing
just
this the
happened
third
to
time.
riz up a Mexican woman in the middle of Mexican Home Depot or whatever the I said, and she loves me now, even though I can't speak Spanish and she can't speak English. It's like, what? Like, Ralph's stories would be that he would go to like a Mexican sushi restaurant with a Google Translate device and riz up a random woman at the other table with Google Translate.
Or the therapist or something. Remember, like the physical therapist or something?
He was like trying to like riz up his like psychiatrist that he was going to because he was on like
a book or a
his
movie
Tony.
or
Yeah,
something?
he's like, I got you the Hunter S. Thompson book, bitch. Won't you love me now, bitch? It's like, this is bad, Ralph.
And by the way, he's like, I'm gonna spill everything about Scarlett. I'm gonna tell you all about how she sucked my dick. And I'm like,
we can see her suck on camera.
A prostitute.
I'm gonna be real. There's nothing. The thing is with these two is there's actually nothing they can do to ruin the other person's reputation, because neither of them have a reputation. Like, it's the lowest of the low toilet sewer, just stained, bro. Like, there's nothing for these people to even go after each other with. So she's a dirty. Yeah, we know. He has a small and he's 5'1" and
we know
he's gay. We know. We know he likes stuff up his bum.
While I was sleeping, no shit.
We know he's a. Alice told us he's a like on this show, you know, and it's like there's nothing.
Said, by the way, I didn't even tell you. He's like, you called me a. Oh yeah, Scarlett, I'll.
So
you.
Bill Brewski, Bill Brewski here in chat says Ralph only has shocking a dog left. It's like, bro, he already hung the dogs to death. He fucking, buddy, he put the puppies in the oven. He put the puppies in the oven.
He himself during a stream. Like, what hasn't happened with Ralph? Oh, yeah, he goes, oh yeah, I'll you. I'm like, how the f do I, like, I didn't have to even gild the lily at all. I was like,
I don't even know. It's okay. You're just admitting to being a and stuff. And like, the thing is, like, I doubt that he even has the balls to be a. Like, I doubt it's even true. Like, he's too much. He's too much of a. Even if he did, it's like, listen, how small is the before it's legally not even a. Like, do you know what I mean? Like his nothing. Like, Scarlett apparently got backdoor violently by the right micro. And there's
small,
no
just the cheeks. There's no.
Oh, there was no. Do you know what I mean? It's attempted, I guess. I don't. He tried. He was willing, but the flesh was weak. I'm gonna you. I mean,
I'll try.
I'll try and you, bitch, but I don't know if it's gonna cooperate or nothing. How low can it go, right? Schrodinger's, you know, it's like, is it or is it not? Like, who even know? I'm gonna eat your fish. Okay?
And then he's like trying to insult her. He's like, "You told me you were. You got her, Ralph. Wow.
Whoa.
Oh man.
Wow.
How's she gonna survive this,
Bro, this was the same thing as when he was like making fun of people for getting molested as a kid. That's still one of the craziest Ralph bits of all time. He's talking to some guy, nobody even remembers who this guy was, but Ralph's like, yeah, well, I heard you were molested as a child. The guy's like, yeah, it was really up, man. Like, said, that would never happen to me. It couldn't be me, bish. I would have fought him and beat his ass. Buddy, he was 5 years old.
He was 4. I think the story.
You know,
I forgot who he was.
I would have bit his up. I would never let anyone. It's like, what the is wrong with you, you sick freak, bro? Where it's like, you think anybody's gonna like dunk on somebody for getting molested?
Like,
Listen,
point in
this
lies.
is his like
He was
twisted
raped.
moral. But then
What
it turned
the
out that
fuck?
Ralph was fucking molested as a kid
Yeah,
by
I
his
know.
own fucking
He told
mom in his
Godwinson.
9-hour therapy session with Godwinson. Yeah, my daddy was a schizophrenic, which we get more lore about his schizophrenic father and how his dad would beat him and shit. And he said, my
That's in the
mama
days?
would rape me. Well, you may not have got it, but do you remember it was on like one of those last streams? He was talking about how Ronnie was schizophrenic, and that's why he felt bad for Scar.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I
one.
think that was yesterday. But it was
There's so
towards
much
the end of
Ralph.
the stream.
There's so much Ralph. I don't even know what exists, to be honest. Hotep has it. By the way, Hotep
well, if you're listening,
is a
you're
legend
probably
with the
lying.
clips, bro.
This thing is, Ralph is such an unreliable narrator that you really can't believe anything that he says. And the same thing with Scarlett. So ultimately, what you do in these situations is you just believe whatever is funniest at any given time.
Yeah.
Do you know? If it's just like, because none of this matter. It's like such a lowly, dirty, slimy, stinky.
We gotta say this to the new viewers. We have a lot of new people who watch us. So we're doing quartering first and some other stuff first.
Yeah.
But I want to warn you all, around hour 5 of our show, it's gonna turn into like the backroom style horror movie, like uncomfortable.
It's like the ultimate horror cow. Like Ralph is
It is
fucking
Obsession, by the way. It is the movie
There's
Obsession.
only a handful of lol cows that truly are lower than Ralph. By the way, like if you tried to explain, I saw this on a post somewhere. I don't know if it was Twitter or Kiwi Farms, whatever, but it was very true. Somebody said this. They go, if you were to take a normal person and you were to explain to them what Ethan Ralph's life was for the last 6 years, they wouldn't believe you. Like, it's so insane and so unhinged. For the people that are like in deep in the lore, it's like, oh yeah, this makes total sense. Of course it would be like this. It's Ralph. But for people that are uninitiated into the Ralph lore, like, it's truly insane. Like, the guy went from impregnating and grooming like a teenage girl, leaking the teenage girl's tape, domestically abusing the teenage girl. Then he like cheated on the teenage girl with a lolicon enthusiast transgender woman that he then also knocked up and moved to Mexico. And then he started feuding with the father-in-law, the of his baby mama that was a teenage girl, multiple lawsuits. Like, and that's just like, I can't even begin to, it's going to take me 20 minutes to recap the last 6 years if I did. This is insane.
Point, it's just like we just go.
He got beat up in Portugal. His orbital socket shattered because he tried to pick up a 13-year-old. Leaked your passport. Said he was going to your sister.
And went to Portugal, but went to the wrong spot.
Went to Portugal again. Got beat up by some British chav and is like, oi, then he's in Mexico, like he can't see his kids, Everything's fun. He's like
Oh, yeah,
running
he
from
leaked Pantsu's
lawsuits,
nudes, too.
criminal charge. Yes, like, but the thing is, there's so much with Ralph that you forget the things that happen. Even if you're like a Ralph historian, like it's just constant. And it was for years like the greatest soap opera that there was on the internet. For I would say like 3 straight years or more, like 4 years, like from 2020 to 2023 or 4. There was nothing quite like it, nor will I don't know if we'll ever see the likes of it ever again.
No, definitely
Somebody
not
that
that
was
level, dude.
But this guy had his own like wrestling event where he got Ralphomania, and he ended up eating like his dead mother's ashes in the birthday cake.
No,
and
it was a burn. It was a fed shirt that was lit on fire.
He got served a lawsuit in the fucking bathroom. There were legal papers,
Godfather
like
style.
pod awful, like fucking staged this shit to serve Ralph legal papers at his wrestling event. Then the wrestlers at the wrestling event snaked him and did a documentary exposing Ralph for being a piece of shit. Do you remember? And he had like a bowling tournament where the participants were faking injuries so they didn't have to show up to the bowling tournament. And then nobody bowled, so Ralph awarded himself a trophy and then chose the trophy over his mother's dead ashes.
Remember he went to Ali Jamal's, and then when Ali Jamal like backstabbed him, he's like, I jacked off in your bathroom.
What do you think about that, Ali? It's like, who the does that? Who just jerks off in some stranger's sink and then tells the world about it, like, as though it's an own on them that he jerked off in their parents' sink, and not like an own on you that you're a sick freak and somebody else is sick. It's crazy.
No, hang on, wait. Max SH goes, are they just making up facts about Ralph?
No!
This is all documented. All video, like there's like literally, it's just everything is like, we're actually underselling it.
I swear, I said this. I said nobody will believe it. Like if you try and chronologically explain it all, no one will ever believe you. To be like, you're making this shit up.
Out of here.
This didn't happen.
I've explained to some IRL friends, and they're like,
"You're the girl."
Get the out of here. I'm like, I swear,
After you bought her wish list on Amazon, all of the video games and the stockings.
There's a animated movie about that. Like, story.
About the of Alice. And then she was so traumatized she left the internet forever. I don't know what the ever happened to her, but
buddy.
Oh,
but we'll do that. That's gonna be fun.
All the Medicare debate people are bringing up, spamming
back
that
on Twitter.
That
felting Ralph, by the way.
Jim's got to go live. Like he's got
Medicare. Do a stream about Ralph,
buddy.
Please.
You've got like an easy 5Gs coming. Like it's just like it's just a layup, bro. Like it's just like, you know, like give the Trump a rest, bro, please. They just dug on Ralph for the Patrick Tomlinson stream or something, buddy. Like, we get it, bro.
Please,
Trump's the Messiah. You know what I mean? Say, no. The sector's boring. It sucks.
It is sometimes.
The real content is
Jim.
Trump.
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
We want the Ralph. But I will say this though about the sector. We left the sector for a bit and we're back. Bro, like to see all this stuff. But isn't the sector like seeing an old high school buddy who's now like a
No, it is.
You're like, oh man, that's rough, dude.
Our show is like watching like a junkie that somehow got clean and is doing
their life.
They're doing okay, and they're doing all right. So, wow, shit! I thought you guys would be dead by now. You know,
Papa's ring. Ralph used to claim he would wear this ring all the time on his finger of like a jewel, and he'd claim it was like worth $50K, but like it was clearly fake.
Ron.
The mark, it left like a mark on his finger.
I was given this ring. It's worth $30,000, but you could never have a ring like this, Harry. Remember when he started screaming that he could come on Harry's grave? But the lore of the ring, that was one of the best streams of all time.
I remember we lived together and you were like, what's that? She's laughing. You're like, Andy, turn on Ralph, please.
I was dying.
Like,
but apparently, I think he lost Papa's ring because he was like, he lost everything and he was crawling through the desert in Mexico.
Yeah.
And he was starving and he was going to die. And so he ran into a biker. And Ralph had to give him Papa's ring in exchange for a banana that he ate out of.
Let's be fair.
Two bananas that he ate out of the hands of this biker. Like he slurped it. And he was like fed it like by hand from the biker.
And he banned anyone asking where the ring was. Long time support.
What? No, this really. Everyone's like, no, this really happened.
Day.
And then he was in like a prison cell and he was like handcuffed or something. He was in jail in Tijuana prison or some shit.
One day,
oh
guys,
my God.
One day we'll take 2 weeks off and we'll set up a 24-hour live stream where it's like the entire chronological order of Ralph to prove all this, guys. I swear to God.
From Colombia, he walked. What is it? From was it the Darren? What is it? The pass that's impassable. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, where it was like the most dangerous
Pluribus or whatever. The Darien Gap. The Darien Gap.
El Stanco.
The Puerto Rican fish tank.
And he was like a little man on a chair.
And he was this tiny, sad old man getting pressed by all these Puerto Rican teenagers. It was
El Salvador, that's what it was.
Oh,
so
don't bring the gun back to El Salvador. That AI song was so fucking funny.
Guys, so we're going to have fun with that. I know some people are like, don't do
Ralph. The trash burger.
We love it.
So he was with Andy. And Andy took a bite out of a gas station cheeseburger. Yeah. And it was disgusting. And you threw it in the trash. But Ethan Ralph fished it out of the trash. And you watched him. You were pumping gas or something. And you watch him pull a cheeseburger out of his hoodie. And you're like, but he didn't buy a cheeseburger in the gas station.
I'm like, wait, was that my burger?
And it was. He ate your dirty, half-eaten cheeseburger out of the trash.
That video someone made where it's like a whole all the
at one
CTV
point that was
they found the CTV.
They proved it in 4K. Somehow they got the gas station to release to them the closed circuit TV security footage of Ethan Ralph fishing the cheeseburger out of the trash, and then it's mixed with the live stream footage. And somehow at that point, that was the lowest moment of his life. At that point,
so this can't be real.
I
swear, may God strike me
during
right now.
His first tape. I don't know how I didn't mention this, but he put his thumb in this teenage girl's ass. He pulled it out. He sniffed it. And then the off of his thumb. He's on camera eating the of a teenage girl. It was
it's like this, it was like that. It was like,
oh,
so
man. In chat, like no one will believe. Like there's people in there have to be like, no, this actually did happen. This really did happen.
I remember I was hammered when that happened. When that was leaked. When that was I remember being drunk. This is like 8 years ago, or like 7 years ago.
That's when you knew it was truly over because you were still doing shows with him.
Yeah, and then I was
I remember, I called you, and you're just like, it's over. Like because I tried to tell him.
No way. I'm like, there's no way. And then you see in the background, he had like Lego made of his co-hosts. Remember? like
Yes.
Zidane and
He
like
had
Gator,
like I don't know what it was.
or
It was
like
either,
a
it was
belt,
something
a
like
quilt
it was
or
like
something.
whatever. Yeah, he had, and
And I'm
it was like
is that Gator?
'cause I
and
didn't
Zidane?
it was him and Gator and Zidane in the top right hand corner. And I remember Godwinson pointed that out to me, and I'm like, oh my god,
I went, that's
real.
his Apple Watch. That's his
Bit
Apple Watch.
pixel art. Yeah, it was like a
Oh, the
decal. It was
8-bit.
pixel
Okay,
art.
pixel
It was
art.
pixel art is what it was. And it's like, no, it's actually real.
I remember being in Discord and being like, guys, it's over. And then it was like, what? Look, I think I'm watching Ralph's sex tape. They're like, no, you're not. I'm like, I'm going to share a screen, folks. Like, it was like a private call.
Do you remember the watch
guys.
on his wrist? He was there with a watch on, and it was
The
like
Apple Watch.
so tight on his wrist, like the was like spilling out from underneath this dirty old Apple Watch.
Yes. Oh,
And
wait,
just
by
the
the way,
noises that were
Ash.
happening. I thought this was on a waterbed, by the way, with the way he was jiggling, but it was not.
Speaking of jiggling, so young A-Log here, I'm going to pin it. Pinned in chat. That like gift or whatever is
It's what
his
it looked
gun
like.
from the sex
So,
tape, but
I
with like a
thought today
shotgun.
was Ralph's tape day for the first time in
swear,
6
that
years.
was the
And it
gun.
was almost to the day. Like, I think it was in like June or July. It was in summer of 2020. Ralph dropped this. And the story is, so the teenage girl was getting by some older groomer. And so the older groomer was telling Ralph that he's a cuckold, that Faith was really in love with him, and Ralph was a bitch, and it was his and all this. So Ralph's like, oh yeah? You think I'm a So he sends the tape to the halfway. But he did it live on the air. And so the link was there. And everybody went to the link and saw the tape and downloaded it. And then it was all on Pornhub and everything. Like, it was insane, bro.
I
It
swear.
was insane.
So the reason all right, some people are like, I don't know if I like the Ralph. Listen, this was what made the show. This show exists on the guns
Yes.
of Ralph's ashes, okay?
It was the house that
was
Ralph
built.
built, bitch.
The
That's what he'll
foundation.
say. And it's like, well, this isn't really the flex you think it is, Ralph, that you were such a lolcow that you built this show brick by brick, buddy. But that's what he'll be like. Well, they wouldn't be nowhere if it wasn't for laughing at me. Okay, Ralph. You know what? You're right,
Yes.
bro. You're right, bro. Bless your heart. He's the gift that keeps on giving, and hopefully it never, ever, ever stops. It'll be a sad day when one day there's just nothing more from Ralph, and like everybody's like, what happened? And then it's like months later they
Wait.
find him fused to his couch.
Medicare said he's streaming this weekend.
Well, of course he is. He has
Yes,
to.
you can't miss. Like, this is
But
crazy.
he's gonna talk about Iran.
No,
and
please.